first of all, I'm a little bit late to this. I'm sorry. It took me quite a while to get things set up correctly for this review. So, first off, let's see here. In December, Store Championship play starts again. Everyone who attends automatically gets a promo Arbor Elf, which is a pretty generic support card, but it goes in a lot of decks, and it's overall pretty useful. Top 8 get a Foil Collected Company. Now, this one is big. That is an awesome card to have in Pioneer, Historic. It can go into many Commander decks. I'm sure that there's plenty of modern decks built around Collected Company. It hits a lot of great creatures to pick up from. And First Place gets a Worm Coil Engine. That's a great card. Literally just a format staple, especially in Commander. It can go into literally any deck whatsoever. Now, the thing that's awesome about these specific cards is that Collected Company and Worm Coil Engine come with the store that you participated in. Their name is on the top of the actual card. So this will be a completely unique card for whoever is able to win those events. Now, the thing is that you don't know what format your store is going to pick. It could be literally anything of their choice. It could be modern, it could be standard, it could be draft, it could be Pioneer. It's literally up to them. It could be Pauper. It's like up to the store's choice. So like, take that with a grain of salt. You might not do as well as you're hoping, and you might have to do a little bit of theory crafting before you get to the big game. Another thing is Commander Parties. It's a social game. It's more of a storytelling thing, so not everyone's out there to win. And they're very vague on the details of this, but somehow your game can affect the games around you. So this starts in Innistrad, so it'll come up probably in December, since they talked about the Store Championship first. And you get a participation promo. They didn't give any more information on that, so it's hard to tell what exactly they are going to be giving, but it's also kind of exciting. And Commander is already social to begin with, so there we go. Next one. Innistrad sets. Alright, Midnight Hunt, werewolf theme, starts September 24th. Goes off of kind of like the typical Harvest Moon kind of theme that you see in horror movies and that sort of thing. Comes out, and obviously there's going to be more werewolves in this set than the next set. It looks like it's going to be actually pretty exciting. I'm excited. There's going to be a lot of good stuff. I love Innistrad. It's kind of a more darker atmosphere than I guess the typical Magic set. And then Crimson Vow is a vampire wedding. That comes out November 19th. Both of these obviously kind of lean into the next one, which is double feature draft. Contains cards from both Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow. And they have classic monster inspired alternative art. So what this is, it's a draft set that you can draft and play with that contains cards from both Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, and they both have alternative arts. I'm sure that there'll be a few chase cards in there as well, and I honestly don't see why you couldn't use this in anything from standard to modern, depending on what the situation is. What's really exciting is I'm more excited for, as much as I love werewolves, I'm more excited for Crimson Vow, just because I think the setting can be more over the top, because it's a vampire wedding. You can't get much more over the top than that. Okay, so new news for Magic Arena. Obviously, with Innistrad coming out, the standard resets. So everything, Theros, Throne of Eldraine, M21, and Ikoria Layer of Behemoths all gets junked down to Historic, and to make room for Innistrad to come out. Innistrad, Midnight Hunt, and then the sets afterwards are going to be the new standard for 2022. Jumpstart, Historic Horizons is coming out. It's actually technically already out. It includes some Modern Horizons cards and some digital only cards. I'm kind of not sold on the digital only cards. Like, I think some of them are really interesting concepts, but I don't like how you can't bring that onto the table, and that was my only concern with those cards. And which I kind of get, because some of the cards are just way too out there. There's this one Planeswalker that can have that has at least 10 different bonuses and 10 different negative sides to it at the same time. It's a ridiculous card, and I can't imagine them ever making that into a paper card. It just is too far out there, in my opinion. There's the Historic Brawl that's going to 100 cards that can already be played at any moment thanks to that Historic Brawl event that they released beforehand. There's a thing called a Renewal Aid, and that'll help you get free cards and some booster packs when it comes to the new season. So that'll be exciting. It'll kind of jumpstart your collection in regards to Innistrad and the 2022 season. The big news is Arena Open Limited. This is a draft format for this ultra competitive for Arena players, and it's honestly it looks really exciting. I wish I was a better drafter to actually compete in this. I'm honestly not the best Magic player. But it is exciting that the people who not necessarily have the gumption to try the standard format and have this set of skills that the more problem-solving skills in the moment to do the draft format, and that's actually really exciting. Like I said, it's a completely different set of skills, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, Commander Collection Black. 8 reprints in the color black, available in foil and non-foil. I love the fucking artwork in some of these. Holy cow. Like the Command Tower, and especially the Sol Ring. For a Sol Ring reprint, that one looks amazing. I'm also excited about Reanimate coming back and Phyrexian Arena. Hopefully those will kind of drop the price a little bit. Reprints are always a good thing. I'm a little bit concerned that some of the more iconic black lands aren't in here, but I mean, you can't be too picky. These are really good reprints in my opinion, and I just, like I said, that Sol Ring artwork is just absolutely amazing. Okay, Pioneer Challenge decks. These come out at the middle of October. You got four different ones. You have a combo deck, a burn deck, auras, and spirits. This is, I think, a great way. I love the Challenger program, or pre-constructed decks, and I think it's a great way to get into any sort of event. Like, let's say your store is having a Pioneer Night. Well, you know that your standard deck might not have the gumption to stand up to some of these Pioneer decks, considering that it includes a wider range of cards. So this could easily just let you join in the tournament and have actually a reasonable chance of competing against someone who has handcrafted their own. And more than likely, these will be about $20. I'm not sure if the cards that they'll include will get you your money back on these, but they usually do an okay job, more or less. But honestly, just any amount of reprints, I think, will just... I'm a big fan of reprints. The secondary market is where I get a lot of my cards. So we'll see how things go. And okay, here's a Magic comic book. It's based in Ravnica. There's an assassin that tries to eliminate planeswalkers. I believe it's the assassin specifically tries to eliminate Jace, and that starts off the whole this whole story. And I like the artwork, but like, I'm not that big into comics, but it does look really nice. But I do kind of like that spy thriller story that it kind of sounds like they're leaning towards. So that might be actually a little bit exciting. Okay, Secret Layers. So all the Secret Layers are reprints, so that's kind of exciting. I doubt these will really affect the second market just because they're Secret Layers. So the first set is Teferi's Time Trouble. It is a set of 3 different planeswalkers redone in the old school Magic art style. I think they look pretty neat, but like at the same time, it's just a blob of text, and I feel like any newer player might get lost in the translation. They might not really realize that's a planeswalker card at the, just looking at it, which I guess is kind of the point. But I don't know. I think they look good. I don't know. Just the huge wall of text is just kind of off-putting to me. But this picture doesn't necessarily show the artwork for the Kamigawa ink set right here. But honestly, these look really good. It's done in like the traditional artwork style for Japanese. I love Kamigawa. I wasn't around when that set came out, but I do appreciate the kind of look that they were going for with the old ancient Japanese set based in their mythos and mythology. I think these cards look amazing, and I'm actually really excited for this. And I should have taken the hint when I saw this drop that there might be something coming up with Kamigawa. Another Secret Layers. The next 2 are artist sets. I love I'm actually more of a fan of the more lighter toned artwork of the first one rather than the second one. The first one is, I don't know, it just looks more pleasing to me, and I'm usually more of a fan of the darker stuff. I love just the sky image of the top right card. It just looks awesome. Kind of reminds me of like a star, like the Van Gogh painting of Starry Night. That being said, I do love that big old demon right there. Absolutely love that artwork. Now this next Secret Layer is kind of an interesting one. What they did is they took geometrical shapes and then slowly crafted them into their own creatures. So for instance, the Brazen Borrower they showed during the showcase actually started off as a triangle, and then they slowly added detail while keeping the shape to make it look like a to a magic creature. And I think they did a really good job. I am really excited about Frostfang's reprint, just because I'm hoping that drives the price down. It's, I think, like a $6, $7 card at the moment. So I kind of hope that happens, but like I said, I doubt it. It's a Secret Layer. But like, I think it's actually an interesting idea. I can definitely see how some people would definitely be offset by the art style in this one. Alright, so the next one. Commander's Legends Baldur's Gates. Set in the D&D plane. It is obviously set in Baldur's Gate in the middle of Swords Coast. It is sometime in the first half of 2022. New legends, most things are going to be set in the event in the 5th edition set of D&D's lore-wise. So there will be that. Obviously, new legends, a ton of reprints for Commander staples is what I'm excited for. But like some of the cards also will have this classic rulebook look that this Cloister Gargoyle has. And honestly, I'm actually a really big fan. Sometimes I think these classic rulebook looks actually look better than the art of the original cards, and I'm not trying to knock any particular artist in this for any reason, but I'm just saying, like, I genuinely enjoy some of the more retro styles. Alright, Jumpstart 2022. Same concept as the original Jumpstart. It's 20 cards in a deck. You throw 2 of them together. Each deck has a different theme, and bam, you have a deck that you can literally just sit there and play with someone else in a matter of seconds. It's actually really, I really like Jumpstart. Honestly, it's a pretty good concept. They are bringing some new themes. I heard the word Eldrazi, which for anyone, that's probably going to be a mythic set or a mythic theme, so we might not see it as often, but just the chance to crack open an Eldrazi pack and seeing a big old 10/10 on there is just going to be awesome. I'm honestly really looking forward to this. Apparently there's possible anime style cards, so we'll see what those look like. That could really mean anything. Honestly, there's such a wide range of anime, so we'll just see what happens. This is in the back half of 2022, so this will, take a little bit at least. Alright, the next set is coming out in summer 2022. It is Double Masters. It's a reprint set, so that's always nice. 2 rares per pack and 2 foils per pack, so that's kind of nice, but they don't tell you that it's also double the price of a normal booster pack. So take it with a grain of salt. The fact that it's reprints and it'll drive down the secondary market is great. I'm always a big proponent of that. It's just something that they just kind of throw in there to fill in time, honestly, for the showcase. But honestly, reprints are always great, and if you get some alternative art on it, all the better. Okay, Unfinity. This is not a legal set. It can, you cannot use this in any sort of tournaments. It is a retro style sci-fi theme. It's based in a galactic amusement park slash circus slash fair kind of thing setting, and it sounds really interesting. Mark Rosewater always does some really amazing stuff. He's just super creative. His creativity is way above mine. I can't even form a proper sentence, and this guy just came up with this theme before a pitch meeting. It's unbelievable. It sounds like a pretty fun set just based on that. It does have unique lands, including shock lands, which is the most important. Like, you can probably get these shock lands for really cheap, considering that they're not going to be legally format. So in like a legal format. So like if you're a commander player, you can probably pick these shock lands up for super cheap compared to the other ones. And if you kind of have like a more of a sci-fi theme in your commander deck, these basic lands also sound like it could possibly be a great choice for you, since there's not a whole lot of other sci-fi options for your lands, in my opinion. This is coming out in the second quarter of 2022, so anywhere from March to June-ish. They weren't too specific on the time. They have a Magic the Gathering art book coming out. It's already out, honestly. I personally love Magic's art style. I think that's one of the most like gravitating parts of this entire game, besides the mechanics and like the thought-provoking nature, is just like the beautiful artwork that's on it. So what it does is this book takes you to all the most of the planes that Magic has had throughout the years, and it shows you very important people, very important events that have happened, and kind of gives you like a quick little breakdown of the certain places that we have seen throughout the whole of Magic the Gathering. Okay, now this is what I am personally most excited for, and it's probably not the one that you're expecting. Warhammer 40k gets 4 commander decks and sounds like a secret layer in the back half of 2022. I love the grim dark nature of Warhammer 40k. It's an amazing setting. I'm super excited for these commander decks, and honestly, I'm thinking about buying all 4 of them as soon as they come out, regardless of what they are. They could be literally anything. They could be anything from the Emperor, they could have a Necron deck, they could have an Orc deck. Horus is probably going to be a commander. Tyranids, there's just so many great options. I don't know how they're going to limit it down to 4, to be honest with you. They could have come out with one for each of the major factions and called it good, and they could have had 8 commander decks just right there. Lord of the Rings gets a little bit better treatment. They get a full set that is modern legal, so obviously they're going to have more cards in general. There's probably more to tell on, like, more source material for Lord of the Rings set rather than a Warhammer 40k set. I'm not trying to knock Lord of the Rings by any means. I think it's an amazing book series. It's just I liked more of the grim dark compared to the Lord of the Rings fantasy style. So that's just my personal take on it. And surprisingly, this one's coming both to Magic Online and Arena, and also gets 4 commander decks and secret layers, and this is coming out in 2023. Like I said, I'm a little bit disappointed just because Warhammer only gets a secret layer and 4 commander decks, while this one gets a full set and the 4 commander decks and secret layers. So I'm a little bit salty that Warhammer doesn't get a little bit more love, but I kind of understand. Lord of the Rings is such a bit more big, such a larger IP. It's probably going to draw more people in. It's honestly gonna. I'm honestly really excited for both of them. They showcased a Gandalf card, and the artwork looks amazing in it. And as you can see, this is one of the artworks that is probably going to show up on one of the commander decks. This artwork for the commander decks, they're just going to have the Warhammer artwork instead of the more magical themed artwork. So like I said, I'm really excited for the Warhammer set. Okay, future secret layers. This is the one that sparked a lot of controversy. Fortnite. It's Fortnite. You're gonna have one extreme or the other, honestly. For me, it doesn't bother me at all that they're bringing in Fortnite to the Magic universe. They're not even really bringing it in. It's just the kind of art style that they want to use. I think this could possibly draw in a completely different generation into the game of Magic, and that's good for the game. So I don't think people should be as salty about this as what they are being. I do like the art style for this particular piece of art that they brought out for the Showcase 2021. I just kind of think that if they take the right reprints, they can go pretty far with this kind of, I want to say, like, bubblegum color scheme, more or less. And then what a lot of people are excited for, especially in the Magic community, is Street Fighter. They might hit a little bit of flack with this just because there's going to be new characters, new cards, and new mechanics. If they make this set legal like they did with with the Walking Dead series. They can run into a lot of flack with that. They did showcase one of the new mechanics with Chun-Li called multi-kicker. And I believe they obviously haven't released the mechanic for sure, but you can pay the card's price multiple times, and you can get repeated effects of the same card. So if you have a Ancestral Recall, you cast that 4 times, you draw 12 cards. Honestly, Ancestral Recall is kind of a bad example just because it's honestly a busted card to begin with, but like that's the kind of value you can easily get. 1 card, draw 12. That honestly tremendously crazy value could possibly come out of Chun-Li, and she could honestly be the best quote unquote kicker commander that's out there. Alright, 2022 standard sets. First off, we are starting in the top right corner at Kamigawa. This is 2,000 years after the last time we were at Kamigawa. It's honestly, I'm a little bit sad that we're moving away from the more historic themes, but I am also excited to see what they're going to do with this super futuristic, honestly modern Japanese looking set. So that's honestly pretty interesting. I'm kind of seeing how much of the old they'll mash with the new and see what happens. The next set is New Capena, and this is kind of based on, I want to say, like the 1920s mob ruled New York City. Apparently there is five 3-color combination tribes or gangs that are competing for each other. So everyone, honestly, it sounds like a really exciting set. There's going to be mobsters, there's going to be gangsters, and like I said, it's kind of like the 1920s kind of feel to it. I'm honestly a little bit excited what they'll do with this. We'll see what they come up with. Like I said, this is going to be an interesting year. Dominaria United is the third set. That's the lower left-hand corner. Honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Yeah, it's great that we can go back to Dominaria, but I feel like we were just there in Dominaria, especially with the master sets kind of like poking back at Dominaria every now and then. I know this is a huge part of Magic's history. I know it's the 30th year. I get that. I love Dominaria, but at the same time, I just feel like we were just there. So it's just like a little bit too soon for me, I feel like, to go back. But here we are. It's kind of an interesting take. It looks like everyone's going to stop fighting, so we'll see how they turn that into a more interesting Magic story. And now, the big one, the Brothers' War. This is against Urza versus Mishra. This is 2 artificers, extremely talented, have huge egos, and you can see in the background of this artwork there's giant, massive artifact constructs that are just about to beat the crap out of each other. So we'll see. I'm honestly a little bit excited about this one. We'll see how it is. I imagine that we'll see a lot of like Magic's favorite artifact cards come back. I don't think certain cards like Blightsteel Colossus will come back, just because that's a busted card, and I think it's too strong for standard, but I'm excited to see what they'll come up with. Alright, and the last thing that we have is a new show coming to Netflix based on the backstory of Jason Gideon. They didn't release a whole lot of it. They had a little promo that showed one of the voice actors who played Gideon. it still feels like it's pretty early in production, so we might not see this till late 2022, maybe 2023. It sounds interesting. I'm not sure if I'll stream it as soon as it comes out, but that was the entire 2021 showcase. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I will keep an eye on the comments. Thank you.